As hobbyists, amateurs, and professionals, we are all ambassadors of magic, the realm of mystery and impossibility, the art of astonishment. We are guaranteed to eventually be asked, hey, how do I become a magician? Today on Magicians Talking Magic, Ryan and I reveal the best way to get introduced into the art of magic in 2021.
Welcome to Magicians Talking Magic. My name is Ryan Joyce.
And my name is Grimazing. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Magicians Talking Magic. And Ryan, welcome back to the podcast.
Can I be Chris today?
You can
Maybe
be
I should have done, welcome to Magicians Talking Magic. My name is Chris Shepard.
Maybe I'll be Chris Shepard today too. But didn't Chris crush it last week on the episode?
That was amazing. Triple snaps. He did such a great job. Great job. He's got great stories as well. Really thank you, Chris, for being co-host last week, and thanks for all that great insight.
And Chris is currently driving back across the country. He's doing
can't believe this. I can't believe this. And I'm sorry, do forget the detail. He's got a bunch of kids. 4, is that right? 4. Yeah.
4 kids. He has
I can't imagine that.
He has enough kids to do bewave with his kids.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, we hope you're having a great drive.
Yeah. Hopefully it's fun and safe. But I know they're going to check out some other sites and things they didn't get to see on their way, and then they're going to drive back. So Chris Shepard, and we'll have him back on so he can share his adventures on the podcast too.
That'd be great. I think this should be a thing sometime. Every now and then we should have a special co-host. I think that would be a fun asset to our diverse content.
It's always fun to have the different perspectives from all the magicians in the Discord and everything like that, talking about simple small things. Like right now we're jamming on deck switches and things like that in the conversation. So it's always fun to chat magic on the Discord server.
And book club, hint, everybody check out the upcoming book club, which are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, so we announced this last week that officially, I don't have it in my hands right now, but the book club this month is Plots, Ploys, and Other Cons by Brent Braun. I know some of the members are borrowing this from people. Joyce, I can let you borrow mine if you want, if you don't have it.
I might buy it. I feel like I really like having a physical book. So let me ponder for the day and see if I can grab one from my favorite magic dealer. Yeah. I am looking forward to this book. This is going to be contrasting to the last month as well. So good choice.
You would enjoy this book a lot too. You would personally enjoy Brent's thinking behind magic. And Chris and I were nerding out about it, saying that it just got us excited to be magicians and gave us like new energy to look at the magic we're doing in a different way, I guess, as we did after reading Art of Astonishment.
Absolutely. It's great to read great magic literature. And this one I am looking forward to. Art of Astonishment is riddled with hilarious oddities throughout Paul's text. Anyways, this is I'm a nerd for reading. I think this was a great choice. I'm looking forward to it. You are wrapping your virtual. You've already done your last show.
I declared season 1 of virtual shows completed. I'm just over a year of doing virtual shows, and the last virtual show in the books ended on July 4th. It was a birthday party where this was actually a hybrid show. I would declare this as a hybrid show. Huge group of people in one home watching me on a TV with family members all over Canada and the rest celebrating a 74th birthday. And then I was also on TV. I was on CHCH too, again, for Canada Day. Which was nerve-wracking. It was so I'll share the thing in the Discord, the clip in the Discord, but I had to force feed the trick to Bob a little bit. I probably should have just restarted and kept going, but I'm always nervous about time, so I force fed the trick. But I did get some good magical moments on there. But it wasn't the best. But that's okay. But yeah, I've decided the virtual season is wrapped, and now I'm going to try to take a hiatus from performing for the summer, I guess, kind of like July, August, maybe the first half of September, as I can rehearse, plan, and prepare for the fall and winter, because I think Christmas season is going to be ridiculous. And I think also the fall, we're expecting the Halloween season and everything around the fall to also be pretty busy too. So I need to re-rehearse my show, um, and set something new up. I want to have something new because through virtual magic, I've rediscovered or I've recreated grimazing, and grimazing represents something different now. So yeah, I want to start working on that.
I feel the same. Also, I'm dusting. Well, sorry, virtual show wise, I've been in just production modes. The last 2 weeks have been not so crazy, crazy beyond crazy. Let's say 3 weeks. It's just been out of this world. And so during this time, also, we're seeing the world unfold and open. And I'm like, dusting off my show in my head. Last Friday, like I had a meeting and I was like, I should do something from the show, and so I did, and I kind of stopped. It was like it was kind of like so it was like very clear that there's dust. So I've also realized fully that like my character has changed and like evolved, and how do I want to embrace that in a set that I'm very happy with. So I think a lot of magicians are going to be focused on this as well. So it's probably something we should talk about in several episodes to come.
It's
Because yes, it's going to be a busy opening.
it sounds like that's a great group conversation that we should open up to the Discord. And maybe, because this is huge news. Next week, we're going to be celebrating 2 years of Magicians Talking Magic, 2 years of this podcast. So
That's
maybe
amazing.
after that, we can figure out a group conversation because we'll also be having book club come up soon too. But I bet this is on. I know when I spoke to Chris before and after we recorded, this is on his mind too about where like, and also what kind of venues will we be performing at. I think I might be changing up my venues. I was always a restaurant guy. I don't know if I'll do the restaurants for now. Maybe though, like I would like to. It depends though on the rules in Ontario, to be honest. But I'm curious to see what the new venues might be and everything like that.
Yeah, it's going to be well, we're all sort of going to adapt and change, and it'll be interesting to have a conversation. We'll start that in Discord, but maybe we should have that as maybe there's a group episode in here we could chat about. Well, I have Cam, no major updates for Cam. There's we've got our summer break off, but if you are a Canadian and you are interested in joining Cam, make sure to check out cammagic.org. If you're not Canadian and you want to join, you can join as well. But in the fall, we're going to be kicking it right back up with Cam Jams again. So enjoy the summer off and subscribe to the blog to get updates. You are fully 2-shot done vaccinated.
I'm double shotted. I got the mix and match. I'm Visor Moderna is what I got going on, and that second shot really put me in bed for like the whole day. I was totally wiped,
I have heard
exhausted,
this.
zonked. Alicia was too. We were both basically useless. It was a really it was a really rough day. But I heard from my other friends they were totally fine. They just had the sore arm and that was it. But yeah, I was just, and that is like a day and a half of pretty rough stuff. And I know some Discord members were like, I just felt hungover. I wish I
Is
just
that
felt
the case? Yeah,
hungover.
it seems anyways, I've definitely booked 2 days of recovery because it seems a lot of people, the majority of people have some more heightened side effects, or not side effects, but yeah, symptoms on the second shot. So man, good for you for being fully vaccinated. You could now technically do restaurant magic.
I know. I'm so excited that I'm really excited that we got that done. The full vaccine. It's a huge weight off your shoulders, like a relief of like, we're almost there. We're almost done this whole thing. And also in the news in Ontario, Canada, I know we have listeners worldwide. 40% of Ontarians are fully vaccinated.
That's great news. Yeah,
Isn't that that's a really amazing stuff. So that's
gonna for me.
That's gonna be changing really rapidly quick.
I've got a drive-through. That's what ours is. It's a drive-through. The township on the anyways, it's almost 10 days from now. And it's like, I guess apparently you come at the specific time, line it up, then you park for 50, like you get your shot, and then you park for 15 minutes, and they send you off.
We called the local pharmacy because we went on to reschedule our appointments to bump them up, and it said you can go here or you can go to the local pharmacy. So we called the pharmacy that day, and they took us at that moment.
Do you have any better cell reception or anything now that you've got?
Um,
Don't forget to join us in Discord. You can do that using the link in the description. Lots of conversation to be had, and obviously lots of details about the book club, etc., etc. So join us in Discord. I've got last week I snuck in a small little chat with our good friend Paul Romani of Vanish International Magic Magazine to get an update about this month's July episode edition. So here's a sneak peek from Paul. We are here with another update for the July edition of Vanish International Magic Magazine with the one and only Paul Romani.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. It's exciting to be back. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. I can't remember when your show comes out, but you're going to see a little. I'll show you the magazine as it is here. Keep in mind, it's not quite finished yet because I'm still working on it today. The magazine will come out tomorrow, actually. But anyway, Dania Diaz is on the cover. If you haven't seen her on AGT these talent shows, she's phenomenal. Just really, really an awesome performer. So we're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to scoot right through. Very quickly, this is a great, great book. One of the best books I've read for mentalism. Harper Crown 2 by Mark, English mentalist. Just a truly great book. So here's our champion, Dania Diaz by Connie Boyd. Connie, again, has stepped up to the plate, and some truly great photos here. And what an incredible talent here from Spain. So you can find out all about her and her on AGT. And she actually appeared on the Champions of America's Got Talent as well. So you can see all that. You might recognize this. Here's what tricks magicians are performing virtually. This is a great survey by somebody called Ryan Joyce. I'm not sure if you know him, but
he's a busy guy, I hear.
He's very busy. I love this Ryan, because you're giving your results of the top virtual tricks from a poll that you took. So this is really good, and also to see the variety of different styles of kids magic and so on. And some great advice there too from people. Live shows are back. I'm not sure if you heard about this, Ryan, but in America anyway, live shows are back. They were back in Australia, but unfortunately yesterday it got locked down again. But certainly here in Canada, we tomorrow here in BC, we go maskless, which is big news for us, and then all the venues will be open, theatres and so on. So it's big for us.
Wow.
But so this is
great.
And I know that you guys did something with Charles Bark, but this is Charles' show, The Wonders, and then so I got some exclusive photos and inside info.
Oh, these are great! Yeah, it's amazing what he's doing down there in Florida, right?
What's amazing is what do people do during lockdown? Well, Charles did the opposite. He put a theatre together and put a show together. So it's amazing. And we got the step-by-step photos there. It's really great. And, of course, Steve and Nils have their shows there as well. A trip to Fanolia Fall by Felicity. I can't even pronounce it. By Felicity Fields. Another great article by Felicity. Keep in mind some of these are blank spots because I'm still working on the magazine. We're focusing this edition on creativity. So Steve Spill continues his third article in the series. It's a 4-part series, Wired to Create, and then Nick Lewin offers his thoughts on creating 5 stages of creativity and creating creative comedy magic. So from 2 of the best performers in the business. Ted Outerbridge, I've been following Ted's research and work on Smith's Falls, where they live, and they've turned their house into an amazing sort of showcase. But also he discovered this magician, Signor Bosco, who performed in Smith Falls way back. So some great research here from Ted. So it's really, really interesting. FISM convention updates. This might look familiar to you. This is really important. This is for the North American FISM, which is at the end of this year, and also about FISM in Quebec in 2022. And then this is the interview by a chap called Ryan Joyce.
Brings everybody to speed. It's happening I can't believe, this fall and next. All
right.
Yeah.
So I'm just quickly running through the magazine because some of this is going to alter, but let's talk about it. The Guide to Kid Show Ages. So anyone performing family magic or kid show, great article by Christopher T. Magician. This is a terrific routine, yellow to red, and it's one of the funniest color changing hanky routines I've ever come across. he's a great performer, becoming my all-time favorite kids entertainer. Really great stuff here. So if you do color changing hanky, or you want to do a color change routine, check it out. Louis Fox, this is an impromptu mind reading routine using the ingredients on the ketchup bottle.
That's great.
And you can do it completely impromptu. It's really clever. Another great routine by Aaron Matthews.
Aaron Matthews.
Out in Toronto. And again, this fooled me when I saw it. So he explains his perfect mix-up, and you can make this up and do it. Again, I'm just going to quickly run through this. You see some blank pages. That's because I haven't finished the magazine. And, of course, reviews at the back. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell there.
Another great addition. There it is, another sneak peek. Paul, really appreciate a preview into magic happening around the world. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Have a great one. Thanks, Ryan.
Triple snaps to Paul.
That's great. Always on the latest news. Great. Another update from Vanish.
And Charles Bach. Charles Bach featured in Vanish magazine. He was recently on Magicians Talking Magic 2. Great friend of the show. From the Writers Club, that
was so much fun.
If you are a deep cut fan of Magicians Talking Magic and you tuned in to what we were doing early pandemic, and we did Magic Touch with Michael Paul, a 6-part episode series that was uncensored and loosey-goosey, but it was really fun. And Charles was a huge help in the writer's room. Same with Jeff Williams and Peter Manning.
He's a funny guy. Yeah, all funny people. It was a really great experience. And Michael Paul, of course. Yeah,
it was actually, to be honest, it was like a writing session. Like we were getting coached by Michael Paul the whole time. Yeah. And everybody, because everyone has incredible experience in writing too. I was soaking it up like a sponge. It was great.
I wonder if that's of interest to listeners. If ever we had a session day, maybe we could schedule something with our good friend Michael Paul, and everybody sort of comes in with some material and we chat through it. If that's something that interests you, join us in Discord and let us know in the general. Are they called categories, or are they called hashtags?
I'm a dummy with this stuff.
Look at us being so slick here about our Discord.
And I was actually going to spruce up the Discord again soon too. Add some other things.
I love the icons.
Yeah, it's fun. And I there's some other channels that I want to add some more things in to share and stuff like that too. But I think it's time for this topic, the topic of the week, and that is getting started in Magic in 2021. And we've kind of boiled this down to 5 tips plus 2 bonus tips if you were to encounter, someone that was extra interested in Magic and you really understood their interest level. But I think so for us in Magic, I mean, that we got interested in Magic and we first got introduced into Magic decades ago, Joyce.
Yeah.
And I remember my first experience was the library, the local public library. And that was where, I don't think anyone told me to go to the library to find Magic books. I just assumed, because that was the YouTube of the day. The YouTube of the day was the library. You go and you first have to find where the Magic books exist in the library. Are they under hobbies and games?
Right.
Are they under?
Do you remember that? Yeah, it's so long ago, but the number system wasn't that common. So as long as you knew it was like 482 or something,
the Dewey Decimal System.
Then you could go to any library and just head for the 482s. I don't remember.
I feel like is, but I'm trying to remember, and I feel like it was either the 700s or the 900s.
I believe you're right.
I bet someone in the Discord can guarantee me too, but I know.
Dewey us. Let us know in the Discord.
I know at the Hamilton Public Library, I found Gary Ouellette's book when I was a kid.
That is remarkable. I can't believe you mentioned that before the podcast recording, and I feel like the bulk of my Explorer, best discoveries at the library were those kids books, you know what I mean, where it's just like crafts and things.
Well, I've brought it up before.
To find Gary Ouellette is amazing.
I brought it up before at the Ancaster Public Library. I grew up in Ancaster, just outside of Hamilton. I found Tony Hassini tapes. So that was the first find, and that was fun. 6-card repeat.
Tony Hassini.
Yeah, with 6-card repeat, make a salt shaker disappear. Yes. That kind of stuff. And then finding Gary Ouellette's book and it being way too advanced for me at the time, I remember. But I remember takeaways from it. He had the solution to put on your hands to give them the right kind of tack. But now I use that working hand stuff or whatever if I need a little extra tack on my hands. But I remember there were little hidden gems in there. I wish I had that book.
It's so different from the books I had. Mine were, I feel like as a kid, most of mine were the type where you would open up and you'd see illustrations, old illustrations, probably some kind of illusion box with an exposed view in like the most unpractical, like this would never work in 10,000 years kind of a thing. And then littered in with a couple like actual pieces of magic, right? But a history and such. I feel like that was all of the books I ever saw. In fact, I've got one on my shelves that I could show sometime. Show off. It's exactly what I would depict. You know, like old vintage theaters with like floating ball setups and stuff like that. Would like any.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then it'd be like a couple basic tricks scattered throughout. Yeah, there was also like that illusion era, and that was the super fun part about books, is to be able to see visually that behind the scenes. That I think that's what a lot of us love, is that well, it is what a lot of us love. That's what we would do this for.
And it really makes
see it in one payoff is awesome.
It makes the library super special, because whenever you go to the library, you kind of want to experience that secret, that thing that no one knows about. And the magic books are totally the thing that no one goes to. It's so niche. And as we all know, that's where hidden gems are always found, are in the magic books. There's always effects in there that people never do, chosen by someone, you know, and the author put them in there. And I bet the author's like, no one does that. Why does no one do that trick? It's crazy.
Yes. What great memories.
I remember too. Do you remember Scholastic book orders? Do you remember this?
Yes, absolutely. Occasionally they would have a magic book or something close.
They had like these activity books. I don't have them. Oh, I almost knocked a glass of water. They had these activity books where there'd be like a plastic case in the front, and then it had pages of like 10 tricks. And in the front, you could get like, it would come with plastic coins with a shell, and then, rings and rope. So you could do like the ring on string tricks, and it would teach you the basic routines of those things. But I remember having basically the full set of those things whenever Scholastic book ordered. But I always had to also order a proper book too. I remember that was the rules.
I tended to get the detective ones, or the choose your adventure, or a memory book. Oh, I had great memories about Scholastic. Well, we didn't have this resource when we were a youth in magic, but today it certainly is one of the greatest ways to get influenced and started in magic. And that, of course, is the YouTubes. Today we get to see incredible works of artists like Jay Sankey, who is, he just spews out creativity. And so what a great influence to other future magicians. And then to see also spin-offs of other personalities and characters. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but Spidey comes to mind for sure.
Yeah, I know. Well, Spidey has a mentalism flavor, and Jay Sankey teaches mentalism, complicated sleight of hand, easy tricks, tricks that are great for school and the work. So my number one thing is always suggesting Jay Sankey's YouTube channel if you want to get started in magic. Because I remember eventually when I discovered that magic shops exist, and if you're in the Ontario and you visit Jeff at Browser's Den, and if you're a younger magician, you're probably going to end up with something from Jay Sankey. Because Jay not only teaches you how to do the trick, he empowers you to do the trick. He teaches you the why of the trick. And he also he will credit where he learned it and how long he's been doing it, and the importance of the sleight of hand and everything behind it too. So Jay is always number one. Spidey, I feel like, has kind of crafted a really similar model to Jay, but in a mentalism fashion, where in these videos too, you can't just watch it and find the secret right away. You know what I mean? You have to watch the video, because they're very clever in how YouTube works, and they don't want people just to click and find the secret and jump out. They want people to listen to everything. So I think they're really great. There's also Xavier Spade. I know he's very popular too, if you're into that style of like learning hardcore sleight of hand and things like that. But there's so many resources out there on YouTube, and if you just encourage someone to start somewhere, they probably will find someone that they can relate to on a YouTube channel like that. Or maybe you out there listening, you have a YouTube channel and you can suggest. I've never had one because I don't think it's the proper space for me to play in, and that's why I never suggest mine. So I always suggest Jay Sankey. That's my number one thing for someone to get started in magic in 2021.
Magicians Talking Magic has a YouTube channel. You can find us on the YouTube.
It sure does. And if you're watching us right now, thank you so much for, hey, there, yeah, that's triple waves.
Yeah, true.
And then the number two thing is the library, which we've already touched on. But I think as we were crafting these notes, I remembered how magical the library is. And I think I want to challenge the listeners to go to your library. Either you can check them out online. You can see what they have online on the database. Find out what magic hidden gems exist in the library. See what, and report back to us on the Discord. I'd be so curious. But number three is obviously promote the local magic shop. Because the magic shop dealer, Jeff at Browser's Den, has the best interest of all the magicians that come into that shop, and he really gets to know you too. You know.
Absolutely, and those are the individuals that also like the little dust sprinkles of glitter or that you can add to your routines, and like they've been doing this and have been around it for so long that they can have a knowledge base that supports the things that they recommend and stuff that they tell you. So it really like the knowledge that is in a magic shop is it's vast. I never, as a kid, got to go to one. There was the closest one was obviously Toronto, and so it was many years. And I remember my vision of the magic shop being very misaligned with reality.
Yeah, I envision Mr. Sardo's magic shop from Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Because I should say there was an experience I had. There was a family and company store in Stratford, if that means anything for Ontario, and they had a corner that was a magic shop, right? And they decorated it like you would kind of expect. So I saw that a lot, and so this is like all of magic shop should be that. It was like red curtains, a little corner shelf, right, and then products all around. Anyways, that was the magic. And seeing the ITR for the first time there. Anyways,
but it's a lot closer to a comic book shop.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's lots to learn, and the people that you meet at the magic shops were also one of the huge benefits. Unfortunately, obviously, we're seeing them sort of fade away, but the people you stumble into could become longtime friends. They could be people that help you and assist you. They have that shared interest. So it's typically there's like hangout sessions and things in back rooms, and magic shops are great for getting interested in magic.
And I never lived close either. I remember when I first went, it would always be my parents would drive me out there for like a birthday, right? And that's when you would go, and maybe there was a set amount of money, like a birthday budget that you had, and you're trying to pick things out. And I learned too after the first few times, because I remember when I first went, I'm new in magic, Jeff, what should I get? And you get these couple of things. And then when you go back, I remember I'd ask the question, like, what's new? And that's a pretty weird question. But I started to learn, like, the questions you want to ask, you want to be a little bit more specific. Like, I like card magic. I've learned this. What is something similar? And I think that's how, like, I started with Jay Sankey, then got Paul Harris after that. And then I remember going to Kind of Magic in Waterloo and talking to Phil. And then he suggested Johnny Thompson after all that. And I was like, and these are all great suggestions and material that I use. So, I mean, those magic shops are really valuable places, like the traditional magic shop. And it's important to make people aware of them, too. Not everyone knows magic shop exists.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other one that slides in the same category is magic clubs, your local magic club. Also kind of hidden under the surface and not well known unless you're in the industry or sort of in that arena. And so for a lot of people, they aren't aware of them. I've learned my experience with the magic club was like meeting another magician who then suggested the magic club. And that's typically how most of us get introduced. So the more you can make that aware to other people and, maybe join your local club or support your local club or make a club or make the club that you want to see. Kind of a thing. And maybe that's just virtual and maybe just hangouts for a while, but there's something awesome about doing it in person. So definitely the Magic Club is an ultimate resource for getting started.
I remember having weird experiences first with the Magic Club when I was a kid. The local one, the first one I went to, I didn't really enjoy. But then the second one, which was like the rogue offshoot one, the Hamilton Burlington Society of Magicians, I don't even remember how I met the Great Bobolini. Do you know the Great Bobolini?
No.
No, he's from Ancaster. He used to own a furniture store out in Ancaster too, Harley's Furniture, and he lived right around the corner from me. Magician, and his basement was littered with magic. And I remember when I met him, he would pick me up. Um, I probably met him at the Magic Club, but my dad would drive me the first few times, and then I met Bobolini, and then we learned he lived really close. So Bobolini would pick me up, and then we'd pick up Captain Bill James. I don't know if you know Captain Bill James, but
Nope.
he was the long-running president of the Hamilton Burlington Society of Magic and a war veteran and everything. We'd go to Tim Hortons, get the classic order, and then go to the club. But I remember we always had to pick up like all the club things, like the library that would be rented out and all those stuff. But the community at that club at that time was so perfect. I remember I got educated in so many things, and I met all these other magicians that I had seen in the wild performing, and then you see them at the club, and you're like, wow, this is where everyone gets together. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah, it certainly changed, I guess, over 20 years or 30 years as well. And that's not a reflection of magic clubs, that's a reflection of society, I would say. In my kind of similar experience, I met Peter Marucci, who, I don't know if you know that name, but he was longtime contributor to Linking Ring.
I saw him lecture at the club I just spoke about.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He, local Fergus legend, who also wrote to the newspaper column for years and years and years and years and years and years. He used to be at the Fergus Market, which has also sort of disbanded. These flea markets ideas have seemed to have abolished from our area, indoor ones anyways. And he had a little setup, and he would do balloon animals, and had a little shelf of his magic tricks that he would perform and sell. And so I stumbled into him when our family relocated from your area, Hamilton, up to here. And from there, he was the first guy that was like, by the way, in September, you should go to see the Magic Club. And like, that was where the introduction to the Magic Club. And I met Joan, who ultimately she introduced me to Magic Camp in New York, got a scholarship to go there and such. So it's this connection building that really is what is so essential in all of these friendships. I mean, Peter has since passed, but like, lasted a lifetime. So there's really great things that can sort of spawn from these connections in these clubs. So I hope there's maybe some sort of resurgence of clubs, maybe in some form, way, shape.
I think clubs have waves and flows, right? And in different communities, they maybe change and fizzle, but then reform and come back based on demographics and different things. There's various different things, the popularity of magic. But yeah, I think we'll start to see another, especially as we get back to kind of normalcy, because the idea of doing a hybrid magic club, half virtual, half in person, or doing parts of it in virtual, do in-person meetups, it's very much a thing that you can totally do. I think that number 5, and then we have 2 bonus ones, is stay in touch. And this is super important. There's a lot of special magicians that create big impact with this sort of thing, especially in my career that I've experienced. And this is, so we never talked about when we did our close-up sets, we dabbled into it about business cards and how I deal with business cards. They're always in like my chest, an easy to access pocket, right? You just got to, if someone asks you for your business card, I forget who, maybe it's a Michael Lamar thing. I don't remember, but when someone asks you for your business card, don't really do too much of a magic trick. Just kind of give it to them. Cause at that point we're not talking business or connecting. The show's over almost. So if it's a trick, be quick. But all I do is I pull them out and I give them to them. But I give every single person that I perform for a business card, even if they're kids. Because the kids, like they can hold, they're going to want it and they play with it or whatever and things like that. But some of them keep it. And sometimes I get an email from the parents and say that they've kept the card and things like this. So I email back and I always send the links, the Jay Sankey links, check out your library, all these things. And every now and then I'll send another email, stay in touch, try to see like, how's your magic career going? People lose interest, that's fine. That's totally fine. But I remember as like when I was a young magician, there's people like Magic Mike Doyle, who's the first restaurant magician. He's always stayed in touch with me. Even till this day, he still messages me and we talk about magic, but he understands that the importance of the connection that happens with magic. Same with like Bob Laney and Captain Bill James. Doug Hunt, will shoot me a message all the time. Doug Hunt from Brantford.
He's great.
He is great. He'll always send me like an uplifting message talking about like how great I am and I'm like the best, and he wishes he could be as good as me. And he doesn't have to, like, I mean, I wish I could be as good as Doug. So it's always cool stuff to hear stuff like that. Paul Reuter, ambassador to all of us in Magic. Joan is the same kind of person, always creating opportunities for all of us and looking out for all of us in our best interests. And same with you. I remember when I first met you, you gave me your business card, and I still have that business card you gave me.
I think that was my last run of business card prints, dude. I don't think
you were just trying to get rid of them. You were just trying to get rid of them.
No, I mean, I haven't printed cards in years, and that's only because like my industry ships. Like, how am I going to get someone to call? Anyway, sorry. So this is something I think we should have a conversation and a podcast episode about business cards to 2021, because I would be interested to see what kind of stuff we should put on. I think this is a great content choice as well for the future, because they are so essential for sure. I think what you're doing is so smart, handing them one, because they'll keep them and they'll remember the ones that have interest in hiring.
And
it's really smart.
I remember as a young magician, because I was super interested, and it's weird. How do you get into this world? Right? It's one of the weirdest worlds to get into. How do you get into it? So you ask other magicians, and I'd often get the like kayfabe fake answer. I learned this in this book, and then that book doesn't exist, kind of thing, or something like, this weird roundabout answer that's not real. But every now and then someone would tip you some real information, like all those impactful magicians. And I think that's important when you realize who you're talking to. Ask a couple questions. We can always gauge someone's interest in magic. Some people just want to know the secret, but every now and then there's someone that's like a little shy in the room, that has like, they're looking at you a funny way, or maybe they followed you around, or they're watching you from another table or something. You're like, this interests you a little bit more than someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of, I guess, boiling down everything we've talked about today, it really includes surrounding yourself with great people, people that, this is going to be bonus number 6, people that you trust enough to accept their feedback. Because the feedback is a really essential part of becoming a better magician. And it's also probably one of the hardest for all of us. It's not easy to work on something consistently and then like consistently get, notes about improvement. That's tiring for everybody. Like we get it, but those that really flourish are the ones that can sort of separate that emotional attachment and see the value in what is being, provided, and choose the ones that resonate with them and their personality and what they believe. Because there's got to be some choice on the magician's half. You can't just take all feedback. You've got to be accepting of feedback, but you've got to be the one to make those choices. So
you have to be open to thinking about it, and kind of analyzing it, whether that feedback fits, and maybe understand, like, I've heard this feedback multiple times. Maybe I should think about this a little more serious or something like that. But being open. But obviously, if you're listening to Magicians Talking Magic, you can probably think that way, because we often talk high level stuff like this anyhow.
Yeah, this is, truthfully, this is the one route to being the better magician, is getting feedback. So it is important to understand how to go about feedback. And I would just add, I used to just kind of ask anybody for feedback, which is not helpful. You've really got to trust that person that you're asking the feedback for. Otherwise, you're just getting consistent, like, either feedback in your favor or negativity. So you really have to spend a little bit of time to figure out who it is, the opinion that you trust and value. And once you have that person, annoy them to death with your requests. No, don't do that. Bonus number 7. Record your shows, and whether you're doing shows or you're doing practice sessions, at this stage, whatever it is, set that moment aside where you're recording it for a deliberate review. Because the camera, we've all heard this cliche, the camera doesn't blink. And if you can't fool yourself through the camera, you can't expect to be fooling people in person. I know there's like, that's a general statement. And of course, misdirection is a big part of live performance. But if you're talking about like a stage show or something, these are typically high level moves. Like palming something is going to be obvious if if it looks like you're palming it. So it's the video process is just essential. And I will leave one little remark on this: is if you have a show and you record it, I've always said anytime you want to press that fast forward button, that's the time you got to look at what you're doing, because maybe everybody else wants to press fast forward during that time as well. So the review of your tapes and videos is crucial.
Another cool thing to think about too about recording your shows is how amazing is that archival footage of your career, right? I recently found video clips of me from 2015 performing Paul Harris's Reset, just a camera for practice. I was like, whoa, that's so weird and bizarre. But even like I have all my video, like I've recorded most of my shows, like from the first few resorts I did, comedy club things. But to see that progression and just to know where you've been, and I've mentioned this before too, but having a show book. But
Loved it, yeah.
I've heard pro wrestlers do this, and I wish I did this from the beginning. And I think Penn Jillette started doing this too, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. He does a journal for every day, I think. But
Right.
what Chris Jericho, he has a wrestling book, so he's got every single match recorded against who, like, and notes from each match, kind of thing. And there's only a couple people in wrestling that have ever recorded everything like that in some sort of way. I think I'd like to start documenting kind of my shows. I've done it for virtual, so I'd like to kind of keep it going.
Yeah, it's great strategy for sure. I used to do it technically like with my phone. I've lost this edge. Someone always said, like, if you can remember them as soon as you get off stage, write them down, because you'll never remember them again. And that I see now, like, why writing them down is so helpful. Like having that book is super helpful, because like it is those moments in performance that's so specific. You can't rehearse and find a gem like these little nuggets, right? Like they sort of spawn out of nowhere, and they're so spontaneous that they're easily forgotten, especially with adrenaline. So it's a really great point to have some kind of archival system for your little hidden magic gems and tricks. Well, this, I think, has been a fabulous episode.
This has been jam-packed. We dropped a lot of stuff here, but hopefully now if someone comes up to you and asks you as a magician, hey, how do I get into magic? You are equipped with a ton of answers that you can throw at someone, and you can approach it in any way that you want, whether you think it's the YouTube, the library, the local magic shop, a club, or something, whatever you think. But yeah, this was a great chat, Joyce, and it was good to see you again this week.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, next week I will be somebody else. I think Chris Shepard, maybe. Chris. No,
you should be here. It's 2 years of podcasting next week.
Yes, absolutely. We shall drop a special episode just for that. Well,
maybe. You know what? Maybe should we share the link with the Discord when we record that one too?
That would be fun. Yeah, absolutely. We should.
Maybe we'll surprise drop that in whenever we happen to record that one too.
You can join us in Discord by checking the links in this episode's description. Also, you get the YouTube's link in the description as well. We also have something new that I'm absolutely loving.
Yeah, we have new merch, which I still don't have yet. I still have to, it has to arrive, but we have new merch. We have tons of t-shirts, and today, as you listen to this podcast, I have just added a brand new shirt, the official Cut and Complete.
That's awesome. And on that note, we shall cut and complete from here. Oh, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Magicians Talking Magic. My name is Ryan Joyce.
My name is Grimazing.
Shablosm.
Tadoozle.
Meow.